Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make and delicious, so if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. For dinner this first night, Gary and I went out to celebrate his birthday. For the longest time, he has wanted to go to like a really nice steakhouse, and especially one that has one of those like chilled seafood towers. So we went to a place in downtown Nashville called Eddie V's. It was our first time going there. Hopefully will not be our last. This was like hands down probably the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. It was delicious. So to start out, they brought some freshly baked bread, and I'm sorry I didn't get a picture of it. And along with the bread, they had this butter, and the butter had, I think it was salt, pepper, and paprika and chives on it. And something about that combination with the bread, oh, it was just delicious. And then we got their seafood tower to start out with. And this was so good. It had cooked and chilled lobster, shrimp, and then some raw oysters. There was also tuna poke. There was like a king crab salad, and then different sauces like cocktail sauce, mignonette sauce, some kind of remoulade sauce. But it was so delicious. And then I got their Caesar salad, but we split it, and it was the best Caesar salad I've ever had. It was so good. And then for the entrees, we both got the same thing. We got the filet Oscar, and it was just medallions of filet mignon with crab, asparagus, and a béarnaise sauce. And then for the sides, we split their crab fried rice and au gratin potatoes. And we took half of my steak home and over half of our sides home. We couldn't finish it. And then for dessert, they brought out for the birthday boy like a complimentary little trio. It had, I think, some ice cream, bananas Foster that they flambéed tableside, and then some cookies. And that was our dinner. And like I said, it was so incredibly delicious. The next day was Gary's actual birthday, and so our family came over to celebrate. Now, I know I've mentioned this before on my channel, but just in case you're new, in our family, we have kind of a little tradition where for your birthday, you get to pick whether everybody goes out to eat or somebody makes something. And if you choose for something to be, home cooked, you get to choose whatever you want. So Gary asked for grilled hamburgers, grilled hot dogs, and fries, but he wanted everything loaded. He wanted all the toppings. So let me show you real quick what I put together for his birthday. First up, I got a few cans of hot dog chili sauce. You could, of course, use homemade or store-bought. We honestly just like the Kroger brand and Walmart brand just fine. I'm just going to dump those cans into a crock pot, and I cooked them on high for about 2 hours and just stirred it every so often. Next, I made a really quick and easy nacho cheese sauce. You can do this in the crock pot or on top of the stove. You really just need 2 ingredients. Now, there's all different kinds of recipes. If you are morally opposed to using Velveeta cheese like I've got here, there are different recipes where you can use shredded cheese and make like a roux and that sort of thing. But I had this on hand. I needed to use it up, and then you just need milk. You could also do heavy cream or half and half, but I just cubed up the Velveeta, added it to the crock pot, added some milk, and then cooked it on high for, again, 2 hours, and just went through and stirred it every so often. At the very end, kind of last minute, I decided to add in some garlic powder and paprika, and that was the cheese sauce. All right, so here's his birthday spread, and I decided to do like a SpongeBob theme. I know we're in our mid-30s, but we like watching SpongeBob. So, and this was kind of last minute. I had these little signs from my grandpa's 90th birthday, so I decided to use those. But grilled up the hamburgers and hot dogs out on the grill, seasoned it with the Steak and Shake seasoning, and then I just Googled the Krusty Krab menu from SpongeBob. And then I decided to set out a veggie tray. Pretty much all of us like fresh vegetables with dip, especially my younger brother does, and I had everything on hand, so I just put that together real quick. And I also baked up some bacon in the oven for our burgers and fries. And then for the hot dogs, I grilled half of them plain and then added some barbecue sauce to the other half. We really enjoyed that in our family. I've done a separate video on that. I mean, it's not really detailed. You just brush barbecue sauce on the hot dogs right before they're done. But I'll try to remember to link that down below. Up next, we've got our kelp fries. These are just the Walmart brand crinkle cut fries, just baked them in the oven according to the package instructions. And then here we've got the finished cheese sauce and that warmed up chili. All right, so here are all the toppings. I had all of this on hand already. It just took, kind of assembling it to put it together. Got some sour cream, Miracle Whip, mayo, ketchup, mustard, pickled jalapenos, barbecue sauce, some just French's fried onions. Got some sauteed onions here, just diced it up really fine, cooked it in a skillet with some salt and just a little bit of brown sugar until they were caramelized. Got some relish, shredded cheddar cheese, some bacon bits, chopped green onions, sliced black olives, some pickles, chow chow, homemade ranch dressing. It's just the Hidden Valley Ranch mix made according to the package instructions. And then I did a quick In-N-Out style sauce. I've shared that before on my channel. I'll link the recipe down in the description box below. And to kind of set this up, I just got the little clear disposable glasses from the Dollar Tree. I find them near like the tablecloths and the party supplies. And then I labeled some of the condiments that I thought, might be a little difficult to decipher what they were for some of my siblings. I labeled it with just some little mailing labels. Again, got it from the Dollar Tree, wrote on it with a Sharpie, and then stuck it to some little mini clothespins. Also got those at the Dollar Tree. And then to finish out the toppings, we've got some iceberg lettuce, sliced tomato, sliced onion, and then I've got some sliced Colby Jack, pepper jack, and American cheese. Next, for the drinks, Gary requested Cokes as cold as I could possibly get them. So I got some canned Coke, Mountain Dew, and root beer and put it in the refrigerator for a couple days and then put it in this little cooler with a ton of ice so they got super, super cold. And a quick side note, so I was born in Kentucky. I've lived in Tennessee pretty much my whole life. And me and my family call sodas or pops, whatever you want to call it, Cokes. We always have. No matter what the brand is, it's Cokes to us. My husband is originally from upstate New York. And for the first few years of our marriage, he called it pop or soda. But now I've kind of rubbed off on him. He calls it Cokes. But what do you call it? I'm just curious. And if you do tell me what you call it, tell me where you're from too, because I'm wondering if it's a regional thing. But anyway, along with the Cokes, we've got some bottled water and then just some flavored water with lemon and lime. Last but not least, the birthday boy requested a Reese's Blizzard cake from Dairy Queen, so that's what we got. Just decorated it with some SpongeBob cupcake picks. Got those on Amazon. I got the paper plates and napkins on Amazon as well, and then those yellow cups came from the Dollar Tree. And this was my plate. This was delicious. Everything was so good, and it was really nice celebrating Gary's birthday with our family. All right, so after the birthday weekend festivities, a big salad just sounded so good to me. So here's everything I set out for the salads. I've got a couple different bag salads, some shredded carrots, chopped green onions, mushrooms I'm going to clean and slice, cubed ham, some shredded cheese, cucumber, bacon pieces, some tomatoes, frozen peas, I just thawed those, and then some hard-boiled eggs. I love this little McCormick salad topper. It's so, so good. We've got some croutons. And then I really wanted honey mustard for my salad dressing, so I just made some real quick. I've shared this many times before on my channel. It's so easy. It's just mayonnaise, mustard, honey, and you just give that a whisk and store it in the refrigerator. I usually try to make it about 30 minutes ahead of time, but you could make it and eat it right away. I just assembled everything, and I believe, I used everything that I showed you and just made my salad. It was delicious, so yummy, and I'm just sharing my plate tonight because Gary was at the gym this night, so he ate later when he got home. For dinner the next night, I made sweet and spicy glazed salmon. I've shared this before on my channel. I'll link that video down below, but I'll quickly go through it again with you. This recipe was sent to me by one of my subscribers. I think it was Christy that sent this to me. But to get started, I'm going to make one of the side dishes. Just decided to do some baked sweet potatoes. I'm cooking them in the air fryer. Just washed them really well, placed it in the air fryer, cooked it at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, gave them a flip, cooked them for another 20 minutes or so. How long you cook it really just depends on how big your sweet potatoes are. Here's everything I'm going to use for the salmon. I've got a baking sheet that I lined with some aluminum foil, sprayed it with some cooking spray. I have my salmon fillets, and then I believe the recipe calls for you to season both sides of the salmon with some salt and pepper. You can totally do that. I'm going to use this Kinder's brown sugar garlic seasoning. I'm loving this seasoning. I've been using it on everything lately. And so once we season the salmon, we're going to bake it at, I believe, 425 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until the salmon is done to your liking. And of course, I'll have the recipe in the description box below for this. While the salmon is cooking, we're going to make our glaze. So in a small saucepan, we're going to combine soy sauce, rice vinegar, some Chinese style hot mustard, brown sugar. Bring that to a boil. Once it's at a boil, just turn it off. And then once the salmon's done, we're going to brush the glaze on top of the salmon and broil it for a couple minutes until the glaze is nice and sticky. Here's the salmon once it's done. Now, if you're not a fan of spicy foods, I don't find this super spicy at all. I know it has the hot style Chinese mustard in it, but I don't find it super spicy, but you could always cut back a little bit on the mustard if you want to cut back a little on the spice level. So to go along with the salmon and sweet potatoes, I'm going to make some green beans. Just toss the green beans with some olive oil, and I'm using some of this Kinder's blend. It's basically salt, pepper, and garlic, and I just baked it in the oven alongside the salmon, same temperature, same cooking time. And here's a picture of our plate. So we've got the green beans, the sweet potato. To top off the sweet potato, I had just a couple tablespoons left of the cinnamon honey butter I got from Kroger. And then for the salmon, just garnished it with some green onions. And this was a really quick and easy, delicious dinner. For dinner the next night, I made grilled mesquite chicken. So I had this little packet of mesquite marinade mix. I bought this months ago from Aldi, and I really needed to use it up. While I was gathering the ingredients that the package called for, which was basically your choice of meat, along with some water, oil, and the marinade mix, it also mentioned like a little recipe to use the other ingredients I've set out here. So all I'm going to do is combine the ingredients again according to the package instructions on the back. I added the marinade to a Ziploc bag along with some chicken breasts. You can marinate this for probably about 30 minutes to an hour or so, but I did it overnight. To go along with the chicken, I tried a new recipe for a chipotle potato salad. I'll again have the recipe linked down below. So to start out, I am going to take these potatoes. If they were super small, I just put them in a pot whole. If they were larger, I cut them into similar sizes, covered them with some water, added a little salt, cooked them until they were fork tender, and drained them really well. So to put together the potato salad, to a mixing bowl, we're going to add in kind of all the sauce ingredients, basically everything except the potatoes. So we're going to add in the mayonnaise. Next, the recipe called for either Greek yogurt or sour cream. I didn't have either on hand. Well, I had a little bit of sour cream, but not enough for the recipe. But I did have some of this plain yogurt, so I'm going to use that. If you use plain yogurt or even Greek yogurt, make sure it's plain. Don't use like vanilla unless you want your potato salad to taste like vanilla. So next, I'm going to add in the seasonings. We've got some pepper, Creole seasoning, chipotle chili powder, and then dry ranch dressing mix. I'm going to give that a mix and then give it a taste. Adjust the seasonings to your taste. Now, this is a chipotle potato salad, so there is a little kick in there. You can cut back the amount of chipotle powder, or you can add a little more if you like things extra spicy. Once I'm happy with how that tastes, I'm going to add in my crumbled and cooked bacon. I'm just using the prepackaged bacon pieces. I've got some shredded cheddar cheese, some chopped green onions. And then the recipe suggested that you slice up a hard-boiled egg to garnish it with, but I decided to just go ahead and add it into the potato salad itself. I'm going to mix everything together, and then we're going to add in those cooked and drained potatoes, give that a mix, and then that's it. You could eat this right away, but I'm going to pop this into the refrigerator and allow it to chill for a couple hours. All right, so for the chicken, I removed it from the Ziploc bag and added just a tiny little bit of salt to the chicken. I decided as I was doing this that, so Gary will eat grilled chicken, but he honestly will prefer it on like a sandwich. So I cut the largest chicken breast into half to make it more appropriate for, to eat on a sandwich. Now I just cooked these on the grill until they were at least 165 degrees internal temperature, then allowed them to rest for a few minutes. And here is that finished potato salad. And then for the other side, I had a ton of fresh fruit, so I decided to do a quick fruit salad. I think I've shared this before on my channel, but I'll have the recipe linked down in the description box below. Use whatever fruit you want. I've got an assortment of berries, some mandarin oranges. These are in juice. I just drained them. I've got a banana I'm going to slice up and some fresh pineapple I'm going to cut up. And once I've added my fruit to a bowl, in a small separate bowl, I'm going to add some honey and fresh lime juice, mix that, pour over the fruit, and voila, you have a really quick and yummy little fruit salad. Here's a picture of our plates. We've got the fruit salad, the potato salad I garnished with a little extra chopped green onions, and then the grilled chicken. And like I mentioned, I turned Gary's grilled chicken into a sandwich. Just took a hamburger bun, added some of the homemade honey mustard from our salads the other night, added lettuce, tomato, and some pepper jack cheese to the chicken, and that was it. This was our dinner. Super delicious. And that mesquite marinade, especially with the variation of adding the ketchup, the brown sugar, and the orange juice, it was really good. So if you see that little packet, I recommend you picking it up and giving that a try. It was really yummy. For dinner the next night, we did a yo-yo night, or you're on your own, kind of just everybody fends for themselves. So here's what I decided to make. I had these leftover hot dogs from Gary's birthday, decided to put them to good use and make some beanie weenies. So I'm going to cut those up, and I have the pork and beans in my pantry. And then I showed this macaroni and cheese box, but I decided not to make it last minute, so just disregard that. So all I did was slice up the hot dogs. Normally I would brown them in the saucepan before I add the pork and beans, but I had already grilled these. So sliced up the hot dogs, added them to a saucepan with the pork and beans, and then I'm going to add these ingredients. I've shared this recipe before on my channel. I have the measurements linked in the description box below. Once I added everything to the pot, I gave it a stir and then simmered it for maybe about 15-20 minutes or so, and that's it. Those were done. Now, before I serve these up, I gave them a taste, and you can adjust the seasonings to your taste. And then here is a picture of my plate. So I have the beanie weenies along with some of the leftover Chipotle potato salad from the other night. Now, for Gary, he doesn't prefer beanie weenies. So what I did, and he was at the gym anyway this night when I ate dinner, but what I did was I cooked up a Tyson chicken patty in the air fryer, just 400 degrees for about 9 minutes on one side, then 9 minutes or so on the other side. I didn't have any more hamburger buns left over, but I had a hot dog bun, so I added a slice of American cheese to the chicken patty and then sliced it in half, added it to the hot dog bun along with some mayonnaise, ketchup, and relish, and then gave him some of the potato salad, and that was our dinner this night. For the last dinner in this week's video, I made shrimp tacos with corn salad. So I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a while ago. I made some shrimp tacos with a Mexican style street corn salad on the side. And Gary said, you know what, it would be really good to put the corn salad on the shrimp tacos. And I was scrolling through Instagram one day and came across this recipe. I'll have it linked down below. And I thought, I got to give that a try. And I thought Gary would enjoy it. And he did. He loved this and it was delicious. So let me walk you through how I made this real quick. I've got about a pound of shrimp here that have been deveined and peeled. And then to season the shrimp up, we're going to use some salt, pepper, a little bit of cayenne, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and oregano. Now, what I did was I tossed the shrimp with the seasonings and a little bit of the oil, and I allowed them to kind of marinate at room temperature while I started on the corn salad. Here are the ingredients we're going to use for the corn salad. First up, I've got this bag of roasted corn. Now, the recipe calls for fresh corn that you grill, but I had this bag already on hand from Trader Joe's, so I'm going to use that. I've got some jalapeno, lime juice, mayonnaise, sour cream, and then salt. All I did was add all of the ingredients to this bowl, give it a stir until it was well combined, and then taste it, of course, and adjust the seasonings to your taste. I'm going to set that aside. For the side, I was just going to make some guacamole, but I remembered a couple months or so ago, Gary had sent me an article with a recipe. Can't remember the exact name. I think it was a chunky citrus avocado dip or something like that. I'll have it linked down below, but he really wanted to give it a try, and I thought, you know what? I know maybe the Mediterranean flavors won't mix with the corn salad and shrimp tacos, but we're going to go for it anyway, and it doesn't matter, it was delicious. So here's what I'm going to use. I've got some ripe avocados, salt, pepper, olive oil, navel orange, some walnuts, these are chopped, lime, feta, a little bit of cayenne pepper, And then the recipe called for sumac, which I didn't have any on hand. I looked on the internet and it said za'atar would be a good replacement for that, which I did have on hand. So I'm going to use that. And then not pictured is some chopped cilantro, as well as some finely diced red onions. I had these soaking in ice water while I was showing you this, so that's why they're not pictured. And then last but not least, the recipe also called for fresh mint, but Gary doesn't prefer fresh mint, so I skipped that. So in this bowl, I've added everything but the feta cheese, and I'm going to mix everything together. Now, I decided to mash up the avocado. The recipe said to leave it in dices. I still left it pretty chunky though, but I just wanted it to have a little bit different texture. And then once I got it mixed up, I gave it a taste, adjusted the seasonings to my taste, and then sprinkled some of the feta cheese on top. And this might sound odd, but the citrus with the avocado, with the crunch of the walnuts, I mean, this was just delicious. I'll definitely make this again. So the last step, before I fried up the shrimp, I warmed up some tortillas in this same pan, no oil, no nothing, just the tortillas, and kept them warm while I cooked the shrimp. Just had the skillet over about medium-high heat with a little bit of oil and seared them for just a few seconds on each side until they were done. All right, here's a picture of our plate. So we've got the warmed up tortillas, the shrimp, some of that corn salad. I garnished it with a little of the feta cheese. I know like cotija would have been more traditional, but I had the feta on hand. And then some lime wedges on the sides to drizzle over our tacos. And then we have that yummy avocado dip. For the avocado dip, I gave Gary tortilla chips. I thought that pita chips would be really yummy with it, and it was delicious. So I recommend you all give both of these recipes a try. This was yummy. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got some dinner inspiration from it. If you did, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.